What is going on, everybody? Charlie here. And this is going to be the rankings and ratings for UFC Baku. I know at this point in the week and when this is going to be uploaded, everybody's probably just looking forward to UFC 317, but the rankings come out on Tuesday. What can I do? So, what this is this is based off of the spreadsheet for this channel, for Pacific MMA. We have a spreadsheet. It's in the link of this video, it's in the description of this video, it's in the description of every video, and it's in our channel description. What it is, it has pretty much every important fighter outside of women's MMA and heavyweight, and we give them overall ratings akin to like Madden or FIFA, and their attribute ratings, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen here, and we give them a ranking, like, because the UFC only has 15 ranked fighters, so we do use the official UFC top 15. Then pretty much every other fighter we rank ourselves. So this is just going to be the updates from Baku and what changed, what didn't change, who got better, who got worse, whatever. So let's start with Nazim Sadikov here. Now, this is a weird one for biggest riser because this is a lot of bias, or like former bias. I was a hater, and I still am a hater. Something about this fucker just pisses me off, and I hate the, kind of Mickey nature of like most of his wins in the UFC. But he finally got a real one. He finally got a really good, solid win against a guy who we'll talk about later, who definitely had a ratings change, in Nicholas Motta. Like, he had a good performance, insane KO, fight of the year. And so, as you can see here, he went from 76 to 79, a +3 bump. That was our biggest bump in the positives on this card. Just improvements in striking, minor improvement in condition, but we already knew, like, he's a dog. He can go. He's durable. Like, he has good cardio. It was all pretty much at the hands of the striking, just way up, because it looked really good. And I know he's shown good striking, and he had a even striking fight with Slava Claus nearly, but just all of his wins have been so, like, illegitimate. Like, 2 cut stoppages, which, yes, he's good at opening up cuts, but you also have to look at that in context. It's not like he was taking the dudes down, busting open their faces, paws, and then just like, oh, it gets stopped after 2 rounds of domination. Like, no. He was about to get finished by Evan Elder, and then the cut stopped it, and he was getting his shit rocked by Ismail Bonfim. Then he got him with a great head kick, wobbled him really bad, and cut him open and had it stopped in the corner, but he was getting pieced up. And then the McKinney fight where he just flat out cheated. Like, that's one of the most egregious examples of cheating which led to a win, but nobody really talks about it because it was on the prelims of some random fucking card like a year ago. But this is supposed to be positive, and I'm just fucking hating. He looked good. He did good. That's why he had a huge ratings boost. Not really huge, but +3. All right. Biggest loser. We got Jamal Hill here, man. And it just looks like he's not this. And I know that Hill has haters, and people are going to say he was never that good. And maybe he was never great, but he was very good. Like, before the Yuri fight, I had him at a 91 overall. Then I had to put him at that lowered him to a 90, and now he's down to 86. Huge, huge loss here. It looks like he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the fight in him anymore. Physically, after so many injuries, so many re-injuries, which is the big part of it, so much time off, just gets the horrible Achilles injury, then just a couple re-injuries here and there, 2 KO losses. He's been dropped 5 times, like concussively dropped 5 times in his last 3 fights. It just looks like physically he's not there anymore. He's not the same guy he used to be. And then mentally, he didn't really seem like he was ever in this fight. And so, yeah, it's just across the board, overall attributes lowering. Striking and condition are self-explanatory with the striking ability and then the chin. But, and by the way, real quick, the ranking, so he was number 4, he went to number 6. If the ranking is orange, it went down. If it's blue, it went up. So it's slightly different coding for that and the overalls because they're different things. But the grappling, I'm going to explain, because you might be thinking, like, yo, he didn't grapple. There was no grappling in this fight, and there hasn't been grappling in his last 3 fights. And that's kind of the idea there. Is like, I know Jamal Hill has good grappling. We've seen he has good grappling, but he's had 3 fights in his last 3 against 3 pure strikers. And I mean, Yuri, he has a little, but Khalil, Yuri, and Pereira are gonna strike. That's what they're gonna do. Like, that's all they're gonna do. And he hasn't even thought about grappling. So it just gets to a point where, like, I know Jamal Hill has the grappling in him. We've seen it in his fights before with Glover and Thiago Santos and some of his other fights, too, in his Contender Series fight even. And We know he has good grappling training. But it gets to a point where, like, yeah, Jamal Hill has good grappling, but if he never fucking uses it, then I can't have his score higher than an 85. And that's fucking generous, if I'm being honest, because he just won't grapple. Yes, he still has great takedown defense, great top game, but I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I want to keep his grappling higher because I know it's better than an 85 at light heavyweight. Ratings do scale per division, so be mindful of that. I know it's better than an 85, but he's never going to use it, apparently, so I can't have it that high. Anyways, let's get off Jamal Hill. This shit is sad. I used to be a Jamal Hill fan, and I still am, but it's hard to see a bright future with Jamal Hill, I'll be real. All right. Only one new addition, then we have a shit ton of minor changes on this card, so don't go anywhere. Okay, we have so many fighters to get to. There's a lot of, like, just little changes on this card. But, yeah, Seokyeon Ko, not much to say here. He drew a tough card in his debut, and he showed out. He looked really good. The fucking rating is wrong. He's supposed to be a 79 overall, not a 76. That's a typo, okay? 6s and 9s, they look kind of the same, all right? Don't get mad at me. But, yeah, 79 overall, just really solid, well-rounded fighter. He has the striking in his bag, but he showed, like, true high-level grappling, kind of just dominating Obon Elliott, who previously was thought of as a good grappler, which he's still a good grappler, but just not as good as Seokyeon Ko, apparently. And, yeah, debuting at number 38 in the rankings is pretty solid. Most of the time, when a guy debuts, well, one, they don't get such a high-profile guy to debut against, so they wouldn't debut this high. But yeah, they debut at like number 50, number 60 even. But no, getting in at 38 is solid. So yeah. All right, minor changes. Perfect segue from Seokyeon Ko into Obon Elliott. Actually, not the most minor change. -3 is pretty fucking severe. And that's mostly just because I jumped the gun. Like, I'll totally admit it. I jumped the gun on Obon Elliott. Like, absolutely. He should not have been at 80 overall. He just, I watched the fights, and I thought, damn, this looks good, and this looks good, and this looks solid, and this looks solid. But he was just not fighting the right quality of competition to be at 80 overall, period. Like, you can't fight Preston Parsons, Basel Hafez, and Val Woodburn and be an 80 overall. So, I totally jumped the gun there. I'll admit it. This is more just lowering him to what his true rating really was. Striking didn't change at all, but grappling and condition. The condition, more just like that third round was so dominant. It looked like he had nothing left in him. And then grappling is extremely self-explanatory. Let's get on. Yeah, this one isn't like really Obon to regressing. It's more just I jumped the gun. All right, Khalil, Rountree, and Nicholas Mota. I'll start with Khalil Rountree, winner of the main event. Kind of this deep on the slides is a little, funny. But, yeah, I got to admit it. Like, look, I am forever going to be lower on Khalil Rountree than I feel like the general MMA populace is. He beats people like he owes them money. Bro is Batman. Like that type of MMA fan. I feel like I'm forever going to be lower on him than them because I just don't see the championship level fighter that some of these people see. I mean, he's not that good. As you can see, he still has an 80 grappling as a number 4 ranked fighter. Like he's... But I gotta admit it, he looked really good, and he has just clearly improved, even since the Pereira fight, but really since the Anthony Smith fight is where he's shown a lot of improvement, so I gotta bump him up a little. Great striking, it's looked great in his last 2 fights. Still, it's just silly, some of the shit he does. It's weird how this guy's only been fucking beaten once in his last 7 fights, even though we all know Jacoby beat him, like clearly won the decision. But yeah, I gotta raise him up a little because even in Jamal Hill's current state, that's a quality win. So, yeah, there you go. Nicholas Mota, I mentioned him earlier when we were talking about Nazim Sadikov. Dude, he showed way more toughness than I thought he had. This is a guy who I thought of as kind of chinny, who I thought of as kind of like, yeah, he'll have good boxing and power and throw some nice hooks, but he's gonna get KO'd. But no, dude, he hung in there, showed honestly a little bit of improvement in the striking. Not crazy improvement. I think I don't remember what he was at before in the striking attribute. I believe he was at like a 77. Now he's at a 79. But he showed a little bit more defensive responsibility. Still not great shot placement. Still no establishment of a jab. But, just minor improvements. And he's still ranked number 54 because he doesn't have the most quality wins. Of course, Tom Nolan's a great win, but that was a while ago at this point. And a little fluky and whatever. But, yeah. So, Nicholas Mota, lot of improvement. happy for him. Happy that he got the 100K bonus. He totally deserves it if he puts on a fight like that. So, yeah. All right. Two guys who were in the same fight, which will also happen. We'll also talk about Fiziev and Bahamondes soon after this, and that'll be our last one. But, yeah, Azat Maksum and Tagir Ulanbekov. You might think this is weird, you know, that I'm lowering Tagir. I found, like, a bit of a regression in Tagir. Like, I don't know exactly what it is, but he just hasn't looked as good in his last two. He still looked great. I mean, 85 overall for flyweight is insane. Like, that's another thing. I'm sorry if I didn't mention this. We do scale per division here. So an 85 overall at flyweight is way better than an 85 overall at, like, middleweight. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, 85 overall at flyweight. The guy's, he's really good. But he seems like he's slipping a little. I don't know. I mean, I know I've said this before in this video, but he seems like he's regressing a little. Clayton Carpenter and Azat Maksum, who, as you can see, Azat improved. Like, they're good opponents, but having these close, like, 29-28, I don't like it for Tagir. And he did actually go up in the rankings, as you can see, went up from, like, number 12 to number 11, which is pretty inconsequential. But, yeah, so just technical striking and grappling. And just his striking and grappling attribute. They lowered a little. And Tagir is one of the few fighters on this list where we have the full detailed attributes. That's something you'll get if you go look at the spreadsheet. But we have the full detailed attributes for him, which have every little broken down piece of striking, grappling, and condition. You'll see. So it'll be like, you know, mid-range, close range, defense, movement, clinch striking. And then for grappling, it's like submission, submission defense, takedowns, takedown defense, clinch grappling, top game, bottom game, etc. So, yeah. And Azat Maksum, I don't know, he showed that he's not just going to be one of these guys who comes in, has a couple fights, doesn't fight for like a fucking year, then quits on his career. Like, no, he actually looked good in this fight. He is kind of in a situation now where it's like win or get cut, which is a little weird, because this was such strange matchmaking for a guy coming off a loss to be fighting number 12. But I don't know, he just showed improvements, made the fight way closer than I thought it would be, so good on him. Still 73 condition. Guy can't stay healthy, never fights, and has sus cardio. But, yeah. Now, finally, we're going to be talking about... This will be the last fighters we talk about. The rest of the card I just felt was very, very unnotable. But, yeah, minor changes. These guys actually kind of just even themselves out. Rafael Fiziev... Like, it's weird to say... I don't know. Like, he didn't look really better than he ever has in his career, but he showed grappling. He showed a grappling fold, which is good. That gave him a little boost. And then he showed that he could keep it going for 3 rounds. Like, this wasn't the highest paced fight, but he was grappling, which is, at least in an actual fight, is new ground for him. The guy never grapples. I know he had that weird little exchange with Gaethje in his last fight, but for the most part, the guy never offensively grapples. He did a little bit of that, and he just kept a decent pace for 3 rounds, so the condition goes up a little. And he actually showed being able to take some shots after a war with Gaethje literally 3 months ago. So all that stuff goes into the condition. And then, yeah, his striking didn't change at all because we know he's really good at striking. Bahamondes, yeah, just really bad game plan. I don't think this is the end for Bahamondes. That's why he's only getting a -1. Like, I don't think he fought up to an 86 overall. I think he was fighting more like an 83, 84 overall. I just don't think that was the best Bahamondes we've seen, but I do think I need to lower him a little bit because the striking IQ is just, it's clearly still in development, right? The striking IQ is just not there. He's fucking throwing wheel kicks against Fiziev, like a lot of wheel kicks, just kicking a lot, which I don't get. When he was landing when he was throwing the hands, he was landing and having success, and he just wouldn't. Horrible grappling mistakes, just giving up bottom position. Like I said, I think a lot of this is very fixable. This isn't, Bahamondes has these holes and they're just not gonna, like, no, I don't think this was his best performance, and I think that was very evident. But I do feel like I still need to lower him a little. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. If there were any fighters you thought I should have mentioned, that you thought looked better or worse, that you thought I should change, let me know in the comments. Go check out the spreadsheet if you want to know everything. All of our opinions here on fighters at Pacific MMA. And that's going to do it. Have a good one. Goodbye.